Welcome to Unraveling the Success Code, the podcast where we dive deep into the lives of individuals and learn what makes them successful. I am your host, Kimberly Johnson, a producing branch manager myself. I love to hear from my peers on what their definition of success is. This is where you will gain valuable knowledge, learn from the best, and unlock your personal success. Welcome to Unraveling the Success Code. Hey, today we have our special guest, Roberta. We're here in Abilene, Texas. She is our realtor today with Tiny or Grand Real Estate Group or Realty Group. Yep. So she's going to give us a little bit more information about you and your background.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm Roberta Borlovan, and I actually grew up in Oregon. So completely different environment than here in Texas. So as soon as I graduated high school, I went in the military, and so I did serve 6 years in the Air Force. I worked on airplanes, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
And with that, I lived in Little Rock, and then I lived in Japan. And then I ended up when I was transitioning out of the military, I ended up here in Abilene. And so this year will mark 20 years that I have actually been here in Abilene. And if you would have told me 20 years ago that I would still be here, I would have said, oh, no.
Never. Yeah.
But I have enjoyed watching Abilene grow into what it is today. So I am a mom of two boys. So a 22-year-old who is getting ready to graduate from Texas A&M as an electrical engineer. So he loves numbers just as much as I do.
Yeah.
And then I have a 9-year-old who keeps us on our toes. Keeps our life very interesting. So, and I'm a dog mom as well, and a chicken mom. So
nice. Yes.
I like the
busy.
variety.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, that's what really takes up all my time besides real estate. So it's real estate, and then my family and my pets.
Nice. Yeah. For those that are not in Abilene, it is one of those towns where people call it the biggest small town you will ever be in. So yeah, definitely it has a way of keeping you here because of the people.
Yes.
Yes. Like Roberta. Definitely. Amazing lady right here.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, even and my husband, shout out to him. He did serve 24 years in the Air Force as well. And so he was a aircraft mechanic on the B-1. He's retired now, so we are free to actually move, and we are still staying here. So we really enjoy it. And now he's just a contractor on base, and he likes to say that his goal is to be a trophy husband and stay home while I work. So
nice.
Yeah. So that is one of our goals where he can actually rest after serving for our country for so long.
So what do you feel like with having that background brings a unique experience into the real estate world?
Yeah, so the military taught us, attention to detail and to really think things through. As aircraft mechanic, we had to look at the whole picture and not just, well, this is leaking. You got to look at everything. And so, when I'm working with buyers or sellers, I look at the whole picture and the end goal. I don't just look at the end goal. So we have to look at every step along the way, and attention to detail, and those forms. Like we deal with a lot of forms, and I take that very serious. And just like in Air Force, every little form was very serious, and I take that attention to detail in my career as well.
Awesome. So what if there is somebody from the military looking to retire and considering real estate? What advice would you give them?
Oh, I would say it is definitely a great career, and it is totally different in the aspect of you don't have to be here from 8 to 5, and this is what time you're having your lunch. And so it is different in that aspect. But there's also attention to detail. So there's some freedom. And it's really a great way to, like, if you're just tired of the control of being in the military, of having control of your own life, but yet still wanting to do something.
I'm sure that was a complete turn from having so much detail of this is, you're doing this at this time, this at this time,
Yeah.
to the entrepreneur part of the business is you set your own schedule, right?
Yes.
So how was that, and how did you handle that change?
It wasn't smooth, and there are days where I'm like, oh, nobody's relying on me. I'm just gonna sleep in.
Yeah.
So, there is that, and honestly, like, it's a discipline.
Yeah.
Because you don't have somebody telling you have to be here at 7, you have to wear this clothes and this time. So, like, if you're not motivated, you're not and disciplined, you're not going to
Mhm.
make it in real estate because you have to run your own career. I'm my own boss,
Yeah.
and so I can't rely on anybody else. I have to rely only on myself. So,
Well, you find that then your own motivation, your own success. So where then do you find that for your own, what is your own motivation?
yeah, so best thing to do is like continue to look at my why. Why did I even start real estate?
Mhm.
And I have to constantly go like, when I feel unmotivated, I look
Mhm.
back at that and go, oh yes, that is why I'm doing this, and that's why I'm working
Mhm.
hard, and that's why I'm working all the time.
Yeah. It keeps you
Yeah,
up,
and
keeps you going.
everybody's why is totally different.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's why I like talking about even specifically this podcast. It's not just the real estate piece of it, which we do end up talking so much about real estate, but it's more about the success because the success is so different for each person. And it can be what you make it and what you want it to be. Right. It doesn't have to be what everybody says it's,
Yeah.
it is. So I love to hear what everybody, what it is for each person and how they set it up.
Yeah.
So another thing that you've been able to get really involved in is the network for American Dream Network. So
Yes.
how was that presented to you?
I got an email of, hey, do you want to jump on this call to talk about this American Dream TV show?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like I don't mind getting in front of a camera and being silly. I really don't. Like, you're gonna know me and you're gonna know I'm just goofy, and that's just me. That's just what you're gonna get.
Yes.
So I got on there. I'm like, okay, like I can see where, it'll cross between like networking and getting yourself out there. And really, it's also pushing my comfort level. I always look for things that are going to push my comfort level. And that did. I didn't think it was going to push it as much as it did. But once the camera was there and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this might be seen by like millions of people, So, but I loved it because it made me explore what Abilene has to offer and the whole West Texas. Like, once I started making my list, I'm like, holy, we have so much to offer here. And I loved being able to help other people see that.
Yes. And then, then share with people that are coming in. You're like, no, Abilene is not just a small town that you think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we are growing.
Yeah. Because like 20 years ago when I came here, I was like, nope, not going to stay here. And there's a lot of like when military come here, they're like, nope, done. Don't want to even. And I'm like, whoa, like there is a lot. Like, don't just look at this list of 5 things. There is so much more to do than those 5 things.
Yes, definitely. So we always kind of laugh about this one, and we all have our own opinion on it. How do you maintain the work-life balance, especially, yes, as an entrepreneur, as a working mom, when you have the young kids? I'm a empty nester now, so I have even a different perspective. I've been there, done that. So now, even looking back, I have an idea. Yep, I have my own ideas on that too. But I want to hear what.
Yeah. So when I got started almost 6 years ago, so it was more than 6 years ago when I actually started studying for my real estate license. My husband was still active duty and he was actually deployed. And so I had a 6-month-old and a 13-year-old because that's how far apart our kids are. And studying to get my real estate license. And I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And so when I started my career, he was still in the Air Force, and we had a toddler and a teenager. And So it was a total different than it is now, having just,
Yeah.
we're down to just one at home. But it can be very challenging because you want to make sure your clients get the answers and everything that they
Mhm.
need. But then the 9-year-old still wants cuddle time and he still wants to watch movies.
Yep.
And so you really have to. I think the secret is to put on your schedule. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but you have to put your family on your schedule.
Yeah.
And you just
Yep.
have to tell clients like, this is my boundary. This is an appointment. They don't have to know what the appointment is.
Right. No.
This is an
Mm-mm.
appointment, and I'm sorry. Like, this is the days off. This is what I'm doing here.
Yep.
And I kind of regret this year we were supposed to go out of town for Christmas, and I said no, I have too much stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of missed out on going to see family at Christmas time, and I really shouldn't do that again. I really should make sure that balance is still there because
Mm-hmm.
ultimately our family is who supports us.
Yeah. Yep. I couldn't agree more. Yes, because there's only so much time you have,
Mm-hmm.
and it's when you sit down and look at what time you're giving to what is, then you evaluate what it means, like what really means in your life, right? So then you're like, okay, well, if family is so important, then I am giving this amount to them.
Yeah.
And yes, so giving them or putting it on the calendar, you've blocked that time off and that's theirs. But also then realizing there are times and seasons where maybe work gets a little bit more, family gets a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
and giving yourself some grace.
Yeah.
But then also, you know, balance is, there's never going to be perfect
No.
balance. Yeah. And it's okay to have an ebb and flow.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah. And it's okay to give yourself some grace in that. And I think as moms, we are so dang hard on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we shouldn't be.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing is we have to remember to do self-care.
Yes.
And so like the one thing that I started doing it's something small, but getting my nails done. And so like, I kind of have to go get them redone because they're starting to grow out. So like I kind of force myself to have to go get my nails done because otherwise they're not going to look good. So, but I enjoy that time of just like, guess what? You can't call me because my nails are getting done.
Yes.
So, and I enjoy it, and I really look forward to that every 3 weeks. Of just I'm just going to go take my me time because that's important. We have to take me time just as much as our family time.
Right. Yep. And then nobody can call you for that little bit of time, and you can just sit there and be like, no, it's me. I can't even talk to you right now.
And I think just the same in mortgage world, like that 1 hour, like people are gonna have to realize, like, we're not the fire department, we're not the police. An hour, you should allow us an hour.
Yes, right. I actually literally have on my calendar. It came from a coach of mine that I love and adore, but it's think, and it's 20 minutes of my day that everything's blocked off. I have do not disturb on everything else, and it's think. And I turn it off, and I get to not do. I don't. It's not a to-do list. It's a think time that I get to shut everything off and just reset my mind. So, that's another piece that you can just balance your life out. Yeah,
for sure.
So
I mean, you really have to because even some of the greats out there will tell you have to schedule your self time. Like that's just
yeah.
If you want to give back to your clients and to your family, you have to have your own mindset right.
And we have touched on this a little bit, but what do you see, Abilene, change in our market? Where do you see big changes happening in real estate?
In real estate, I'm trying to think here. The pricing has shifted. People are realizing I don't need to go buy the hugest house. I need to have a house that I can afford and not be maxed out. And I think a lot of people in the last year or two have had a reality check of, you know what, like I want a house to raise my family, and it doesn't have to be the biggest and the most expensive. It just needs to be a house.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot more people are realizing, you know what, these cute older homes have lots of square footage, and
yes,
so I do see, and I see a lot of people going, you know what, these older homes have so much charm. And so a lot of these older neighborhoods that have been kind of ignored because there's been so many new builds, people are going, oh, you know what? Look at this charming neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go in there and revitalize it. So there's lots of neighborhoods right now in Abilene that are getting revitalized that really need because they have the charm.
Yes.
And they just need, you know, a little bit of attention and love. And so we're seeing that where, you know, and it's funny because since I've been here 20 years, like, you know, different areas have gotten different focus. And then, so, you know, first it was just in the Wiley area, and then it was focused south of town.
Mm-hmm.
And so as those markets get more expensive, people start shifting to other areas.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're looking at more rural stuff. I do a lot more rural, like Hawley and Anson and Clyde, where people are realizing, you know, I can get a little bit more for my money if I just go outside the state limit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and I think a lot more people are getting educated on real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, like, you have to realize that not all sources are going to be correct. You have to look at more than one source.
Yes.
And that's what I get my information from. It's like multiple sources.
Not Google.
Yeah.
Don't Google it.
No. You know, your lender experts and your real estate experts are going to look at all of that. We're not just going to look at one source.
Yes.
So.
Definitely a resource right here. Yes, definitely. And then thank you for your time. But I have one question that I love to ask. And we were touching on that a little bit earlier. I want to know what your personal definition of success is.
So my personal definition of success would be to be able to provide for my children and my family and not have to be stressed about the bills. And so I consider myself successful because we just helped my oldest son financially get through college without his student debt.
Oh, I love
and
that.
so
he,
you know, prior we didn't have the savings there because we just didn't ever have the ability to have the extra funds to have the savings before.
Mm-hmm.
But with my career, I was able to help him. And so I feel like that is successful through my children of them not having the student debt. Yes. So, but that's just one of the things that makes me feel successful.
It's passing down that generational.
Yes. Yeah. And then he can actually go and buy real estate because he can buy his first home without being in debt. And so I see that as just helping his future of success is part of my success as well.
Well, I love that so much. Thank you for sharing.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for your time. I will have all of her contact information to share with you in the links if you need to get a hold of her. And be watching for the show.
Yes.
I will also have those links connected so you can watch. When is the next show coming out?
So our next one should be coming out probably within the next week or two.
Okay. Nice.
And they do air on Prime Video, YouTube TV, Tubi. I don't know anything about that, but some of you younger people probably do. Fire TV, Apple TV, Roku, and some of the segments will actually be on the Travel Channel. So I'm really trying to amp up like what we are covering. So definitely. And then you can also go to my YouTube channel to see them as well.
Right. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now it's time for you to take action and apply what you have learned. Armed with the insights from our interviews, you have the tools to make informed decisions and achieve your goals. So go out there, put your knowledge into action, and we will see you again next time here on Unraveling the Success Code.